Well, it's finally time for a heavy cruiser. After so many weeks we finally got every class that people wanted. Get this out of here now. So anyway, now I can do the ship I was so excited about, Bremerton. So I wonder what we can expect from a Baltimore class ship.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, this was quite a show. But what do I know, I'm just a potato doing YouTube videos to some random ships. So let's welcome you potatoes as well to the Bremerton guide nobody asked for. But in the end we gonna cover a really good ship. So good that I managed to fuck up the equipment completely. But before we begin I want to say one thing. Please subscribe. Almost 2/3 of you are not subbed. So if you do, so I will have enough potatoes to build a house out of them. But enough talking now. Let's finally speak about Bremerton. Bremerton is a Baltimore class heavy cruiser from the US Navy, which already explains why she is so strong. She didn't participate in the Second World War, but for that in the Korean War, what was, let's say, quite interesting. But yeah, there isn't really much to talk about Bremerton, since she mostly spent her time in the Korean War and after that she was sold and scraped. Well, what a boring story for that kind of ship, but hey, we got for sure a more interesting one in Azur Lane. So how do we get Bremerton in Azur Lane? Well, kinda easy to explain, like every other ship that is really good. So behind an event wall. Like, is it only me who finds this concept really stupid? For example, you are a new player or simply have really bad luck at gacha. You don't get the ship from the event that is really strong. And now you get punished for not getting this ship, and the only alternative with a decent barrage is Hood. And with that you need to wait 1 year again for the event rerun, or like me forever to get Dunkirk. But not gonna cry now, because I still don't have her after the rerun. So what makes Bremerton so special? So let's list the things about. First, you are American. To that, she is a Baltimore class ship. Also a super air one that you can only get by an event. You can overwhelming stats and great skills. I think that was all. Or wait, let's not forget the skin she got. Yeah, the perfect combination of fear and horror. So let's start with her firepower first, since this is really the gimmick of this ship. Well, in a way or another, Bremerton, like her sister, has pretty good firepower. She has slightly less, but not by much. You shouldn't worry too much about that, since you got also a destroyer gun in the second slot, what gives you a boost to firepower, and also you got yourself some perfectly balanced perks that would never make the ship OP. Well, next on the list we have her anti-air. And when it comes to that, you have actually something to deal with. Bremerton has the second highest AA stat of all the heavy cruisers. And not only that, you also got pretty good efficiency on that, what actually makes this ship good for dealing with chapter 13. Yeah, quite a good joke. We all know that AA just works 50% of the time, and all that counts is that you have air superiority. Lastly, we got the HP and evasion. Health pool wise you are pretty good at around 4800 hit points, but the evasion is, well, kinda bad. She shares the same evasion like Baltimore, what makes her really squishy, almost getting so low as Azuma, and Azuma is a large cruiser and should mean something. But don't worry, there are 2 ways how to make her more tanky. Step 1. Equip a washing machine. Then step 2. Have Helena in your fleet. Step 3. Put Bremerton to the most outside position. Step 4. Let them die. Anyway, these are her stats. Really nice and can compete with others. Now we have her perks. She has 3 perks, and what can I say, these perks have a real problem, at least when it comes to balancing these. These perks are so good that it makes Bremerton even stronger. What makes her such a great pick? That and her fanats we can find on some sites. So let's start with her first skill. The first skill would be Blazing Burst Wings. This perk is not really only one perk, It has two gimmicks. The first one is that you have a 30% chance to increase the damage output of your guns to 130% for 3 seconds after you shoot. This skill has a 5-second cooldown, but this is not really a big problem. Then first of all, you have one of the best reloads in the game for heavy cruisers, and second of all, you are a heavy cruiser. You guns fire every 6 seconds. What makes this less of a problem? The second part of this skill is as follow. Every time when you fire your main guns, you got yourself a 70% chance to activate a special HE barrage, which is really nice and quite strong. And when you now are big brain and equip an AP gun, you will have armor piercing and high explosive damage from one ship. This sounds like Rune, but better. Nah, jokes aside, I can't say that, since otherwise I will get murdered by the Rune gang. But for real now, Rune has a completely different perk. Next on we have one for the team. This perk reminds me a little bit of Baltimore's one. I really don't know why. You can choose 2 settings for this perk to work. Either you put her in the frontmost position and get a buff and get 20% less damage for 30 seconds, or in any other position and get a 25% anti-air boost until the battle ends. Like already said at the beginning, she is not that tanky. The buff is quite nice, but after that you are in a bad position. So I would recommend you to put her in the last spot and get the extra AA, since your anti-air is really strong after that. And don't forget to get the evasion boost from Helena. And now her last skill, her barrage. After every 8 shot, you will fire the Baltimore class barrage. And let's not forget what the first skill gave you, a special barrage. What gives you in total 2 barrages. And with that, we can check out the equipment. For the main battery gun, I would equip the triple 203mm research gun. With that you have armor piercing shells against heavy armored ships. And with the special perk you got a HE barrage. With this you are more of a all-rounder. If you want you can focus completely on HE and equip also the research HE gun or the twin 203mm from the shop. For the auxiliary gun, you got some variety. You can either go for full firepower build or take the French 138mm guns, since it boosts the firepower by 35 points. But if you don't have or don't want the gun, you can take the twin 127mm gun. It gives you less firepower, but on the other hand you get a boost in anti-air, and you should already know that she has good AA. For the AA gun you can take the twin 113mm one. So you will see big numbers pop up. I use the Bofors Mark II, since I simply like them more, and you can a small accuracy boost, what you might like, if you are a unlucky potato like me, and everything misses, but normal Bofors is also fine. And now the auxiliary equipment. This is really simple. Just take the default heavy cruiser equipment, which almost everyone has. So for the first slot you take a repair toolkit, and for the second one you take the improved hydraulic rudder. You can consider other stuff as well, like if you want to look like a big potato, just take double autoloader or even better double oxygen torpedo. With that we have everything we need. Now the only thing that is left is to oath her and mix maximum everything with that. And before the video end I want to say something really important. We have guilds on some other servers that are guided by some potatoes that I know. So if you want to join and have a nice and welcoming guild for the upcoming guild update, you're welcome. And now I'm gonna go back to grinding, since I want mains for the upcoming PR3 ships. But this is a story for another video. See ya my potatoes.